Darren, what is the latest on this COBRA meeting?
Well, so it's taking place in Westminster. Clearly, the government trying to work out contingency plans for how to deal with particularly the paramedic strike today. We know members of the army have been drafted in, but frankly, the service is not going to be up to the usual standards. And even then, those standards have been questioned in recent months, haven't they, about how punctual ambulance services are, with people often having to wait hours to receive care. It's going to be quite difficult today. You've got essentially the NHS telling people, as you've just been reporting on, to be extra cautious in terms of their activities, not to do something that may put them in danger, by the simple reason that for most NHS trusts across England, they are now in a critical situation, i.e. they are having to rely on other resources in the healthcare system just to keep going today. As for the negotiations between the government and the unions, not just the paramedics, but also the nurses and indeed the rail workers, the postal workers, baggage handlers, you could go on. The government is sticking to its line very much, that it is not prepared to go beyond what the independent pay bodies are offering in terms of pay. It does not want to reopen negotiations on pay at all, and that has meant that the unions, frankly, are not terribly happy and not willing to go into negotiations if the government is not prepared to talk about that particular subject. In fact, we've heard from one union leader today saying of Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister, that this is the worst abdication of leadership that they have seen in 25 years. He said that it lies squarely, he argues, Sharon Graham, it all lies squarely at the door of the government, this strike action. And in that, I think that's where it gets quite tricky, Bev, for the government, in the sense that if you look at opinion polls in regards to this, particularly when it comes to paramedics and nurses, it does seem that the public, at least, are on the side of those taking strike action, and at the moment, frankly, seem to be blaming the government for all the disruption.